I found the top 10 best remote jobs, and all the jobs on this list are going to be available to people at the entry level. Some of the jobs on this list are going to be harder to get into than others, but these are the jobs that I've seen time and time again that people are able to relatively easily land their first remote job. And most of the people that are able to land these jobs do not have a college degree or any previous experience. And some of these jobs you can actually make over $100,000 a year. Now, the first one on the list that I'm going to start with is going to be the easiest one to land, and that's going to be customer service representative. Now, I know what people are thinking. You probably do not want to be a customer service representative, and I don't think that you should do this for very long. But with that being said, this is actually a pretty good first job just to get your foot in the door working remote. And after you get a little bit of experience, you can move up to a position like customer relationship manager or customer success manager. And those are jobs where you can easily make it to the six-figure level. So it's not a very glamorous job, but it's honestly one of the easiest ways for you to land a remote job and get your foot in the door. And customer service representatives make about $39,000 a year. So to qualify for this role, you need excellent interpersonal communication skills, patience, empathy, and the ability to remain calm and professional in the face of Karens.
You're back.
I'm here to see the manager.
So this is one where you absolutely do not need to have a college degree, previous experience, a bunch of certifications, or anything like that. You can land this at the entry level. I knew many people who actually landed these types of jobs before they even turned 18. So some of the pros of this one are there's a lot of remote work flexibility. Most customer service jobs are going to be remote. You get to develop your communication skills, and there's actually really good potential for career growth. Some of the cons here are, of course, you have to deal with Karens. You have to adhere to strict performance metrics, and it can be somewhat stressful dealing with a high volume of customers. So overall, I'll give this one an opportunity score of 7.5 out of 10. I think it's a great option for people who just need to get a job like right now, and they don't really have, a college degree, good background, a bunch of skills, certifications, etc., but they want to get a remote job. The next one on the list is one of those rare careers where I have actually seen people make it to six figures per year in their first year, and that's going to be tech sales. Now, the entry-level position for tech sales is either going to be called a business development representative or a sales development representative, and that's BDR or SDR. And basically, you're going to be promoting technological products and services to other businesses. So you are basically working for a business and you're selling to other businesses, which is also known as B2B. And it's a much more logical type of selling because you're basically just understanding the needs of the other business and you're seeing if your product fits with those needs. You're going to be talking to people who are high up in companies. They're not going to fall for these, sleazy marketing or sleazy sales tactics. So you basically just have to logically explain how your product works for them. And it's much more about relationship building and understanding how your product fits with that company over a period of time. Now, technology sales roles in general make about $141,000 a year. That isn't an entry-level role though. Typically at the entry level, you'll make somewhere between $60,000 and $80,000 a year. And some of the skills that are great to have here are strong sales skills, technical knowledge, excellent communication and interpersonal skills, and the ability to build relationships. Now, this is one where you absolutely do not need to have previous experience or a college degree to get into it. I have seen many people go from zero experience, no college degree, to landing a job in something like 1 month. Sometimes it's around 2 months or 3 months. And I've actually interviewed a bunch of people on this channel that have done exactly that. And they all use this company called Course Careers. And Course Careers has a free training where they explain exactly what tech sales is, what SDR is, what BDR is, what an account executive is, for instance. And they'll answer just about every question that you have about tech sales if you're interested in it. I'll put that down in the description as well as the pinned comment below. And they also have a cohort-based experience where you're going to be getting a job with a bunch of other people, and they actually guarantee interviews for you. And if you're interested in that, I actually have a $50 off coupon, which is Shane50. I'll put that down in the description and the pinned comment as well. So some of the pros here are going to be unlimited earning potential and opportunity to work with cutting-edge technology, a dynamic and fast-paced environment, and there is a ton of potential for career growth. A lot of the time, people who end up becoming CEOs or executives start off in sales. Some of the cons here are going to be intense competition, evolving technology landscape, and you have to meet sales targets. So overall, I really like this one. It is a bit more intense than some of the other ones on the list, and it's not going to be for everybody. But with that being said, it is an incredible opportunity. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10 opportunity opportunity score. The next one on the list is going to be another great career that's super easy to break into, and that is IT help desk. And I think out of all the technology related careers that are not like tech sales, because that's more of a kind of a business related career, even though it's in the technology industry, I think IT help desk is probably the easiest one to get your first job, the easiest one to get your foot in the door in the tech industry. And the tech industry is probably the best industry you can possibly work in. So in an IT help desk position, you would either be helping customers with technical problems, or in many cases, you will be helping other people within your business. And in an IT help desk position, you'd expect to make about $53,000 a year. And keep in mind, this is an entry-level position. You don't need a college degree, you don't need previous experience, and believe it or not, you don't even need certifications or certificates. Now, it does help to get certs, but you don't need them, and I've seen many people that have been able to get into this role without them. Now, some of the skills that you're gonna need here are going to be strong technical knowledge, problem-solving abilities, excellent communication skills, and a lot of patience.
Inner peace.
Some of the pros here are going to be remote work potential. There's a lot of remote jobs out there, constant learning and skill development, and you get the opportunity to showcase your technical expertise and help others. Some of the cons here are you have to deal with challenging customer situations in some cases. In some cases, you're also going to be potentially working in high pressure environments, and you have to stay up to date with ever evolving technology. So overall, I'm gonna give this one an opportunity score of 9 out of 10. The next one on the list is digital marketing. And this is basically just an umbrella term for a bunch of different types of careers out there. So you could work in SEO, which is search engine optimization. You could work in PPC, which is pay-per-click. You could work as a copywriter. You could manage people's newsletters. You could create content, etc., etc. And starting positions here are going to be between $40,000 and $60,000 a year typically. But if you make it up to a digital marketing manager, for instance, you can make $91,000 a year or even more than that. Some of the skills you need to have here are going to be strong analytical skills, knowledge of digital marketing platforms and tools, proficiency in either SEO, social media marketing, content creation, or whatever you choose to do, and strategic thinking abilities. So some of those roles are more on the creative side and some of them are more on the analytical side. And this is another one where you absolutely do not need to get a college degree or have previous experience to land your first job. Now, some of the pros here are going to be flexibility to work remotely from anywhere, and there is a high demand for digital marketing skills. Some of the cons are going to be it's a constantly evolving industry, so you have to stay up to date with the latest industry standards, and it can be highly competitive. Overall, I'll give this one an opportunity score of 9.5 out of 10 as well. The next one on the list is relatively similar, but it's a bit different, and that's going to be a market research analyst. And this is kind of like a combination of data analysis and marketing combined. And basically, you're going to be collecting and analyzing data, and then you're going to be helping businesses to make marketing decisions based off of your findings. And market research analysts make about $71,000 a year. Now, this is one where typically you are going to have a bit of experience before you go into this. For instance, you could start off at a lower level digital marketing role and then move into this role. And some of the skills you want to have for this are going to be analytical and critical thinking skills, proficiency in data collection and analysis, knowledge of statistical software and research methodologies, and effective communication and presentation skills. So some of the pros here are you have an exciting opportunity to work with data and uncover valuable insights. Remote work allows flexibility and the ability to work with clients from various industries. Some of the cons here are analyzing large data sets can be time consuming, and it can be difficult to communicate complex data to lay people who don't understand how data works. So overall, I'll give this one an opportunity score of 7.5 out of 10. The next one on the list is going to be a virtual assistant. And this is one that's good for people kind of like all over the world. So in the United States, this might be more of an executive assistant type role. But if you're watching this from maybe the Philippines or India or something like that, there is a ton of opportunity becoming virtual assistants for people living in the US or people living in other first world English speaking countries. Now, according to Glassdoor, in the US, you'd make about $59,000 a year as a virtual assistant. And some of the skills you want to have for this are going to be organization skills, time management skills, attention to detail, and effective communication skills. Now, this is one where you do not need to have previous experience or a college degree, although previous experience working in whatever industry you're trying to get a job in definitely will help. Now, some of the pros here are you definitely have a lot of opportunity for remote work since it is a virtual assistant. You also get to do do diverse and interesting tasks, and you're going to get to broaden your skill set. Some of the cons here are there is potential for working with demanding clients who expect you to be able to do everything. There can be challenges in communication when you're working virtually, and there's a lot of income variability depending on the position you go for, the industry you work in, etc. But overall, I'll give this one an opportunity score of 7 out of 10. Can be great for the right type of person. The next one on the list is going to be a project manager. So project manager is one of those careers, in my opinion, that's kind of like entrepreneurship with training wheels. So it's similar to product manager, but with less stress and less overall responsibility. And basically, you're responsible for planning, organizing, and executing a project within a company. And you have to make sure things are in time, done correctly, and delivered within budget. And project managers make about $97,000 a year. Now, this is not an entry-level position. I'm sure there's a few people out there who've been able to get this without any college degree or previous experience, but typically it's not an entry-level position. But what's great about this is you can go into project management from just about any other position. Like, you could have been like a customer service representative, and then you decide to start studying project management and go into it. So typically you are going to need some experience, but it doesn't matter too much what experience you have in terms of the industry you worked in, etc. And in terms of the skills you want to have, of course, you have to have very effective communication skills, strong organization and time management abilities, and the ability to coordinate and motivate team members. Some of the pros here are going to be, of course, there's a ton of remote work flexibility. A lot of projects are done completely remotely now. There's a lot of diverse and exciting projects across various industries, and you get to learn quite a bit about a bunch of different subjects. So like I said before, this is one of those positions where if you get really good at it, it's kind of like entrepreneurship with training wheels. So it can be great if you start a business down the line. Some of the cons here are going to be, it can be high pressure, of course, because you're in a leadership position. There can be a lot of challenges in coordinating and managing virtual teams, and you're likely going to deal with potential project risks, conflicts, and unexpected hurdles. So overall, I'll give this one an opportunity score of 8 out of 10. The next one on the list is going to be an e-commerce specialist. So e-commerce is basically where you sell physical products online. And some really big e-commerce sites that are great examples would be Amazon, Shopify, or eBay. But a lot of brands also sell on their own site as well. And as an e-commerce specialist, you're going to be responsible for managing and optimizing online sales channels. So in this position, you'd expect to make somewhere between $74,000 and $118,000 a year. You definitely do not need to have a college degree to get into this, but previous experience will help. And typically, it's a good idea to get some sort of previous experience in e-commerce itself. Some of the skills that you would want to have here are going to be you need a strong understanding of e-commerce platforms, digital marketing strategies, data analysis, customer behavior, and the ability to optimize online sales funnels. Some of the pros here are you get an opportunity to work remotely and have flexible hours. There is potential for high earning through successful e-commerce ventures, and you get the creative freedom to develop online marketing strategies. Some of the cons here are e-commerce and marketing in general can be relatively competitive. You need to stay up to date on the latest trends and technologies in e-commerce. And there can be a lot of potential headaches when it comes to managing inventory, shipping, and logistics. But overall, I'll give this one a 7.5 out of 10 opportunity score. The next one on the list is going to be a software developer. Now, I think everybody out there knows that this is one of the best careers you can go into. That's why there was an entire industry that sprang up for this one career, which is the boot camp industry. Now, to be honest with you, 10 years ago, it was incredibly easy to get a job as a software developer. Now it's much more difficult, but you can still do it without having to have a college degree or previous experience. You just really have to study hard and you have to know your stuff. And software developers make about $105,000 a year. Now, some of the skills you're going to have here is proficiency in programming languages such as Java, Python, or C++, strong problem-solving abilities, attention to detail, and a solid understanding of software development principles. Some of the pros here are there's very high earning potential. You can actually make a lot more than $105,000 depending on the role that you go for. There's a lot of remote work flexibility, and in many cases, it's fully remote work. So that means you can work literally anywhere in the world as long as you have a computer and an internet connection. And there's also a lot of room for vertical growth. So there's a lot of opportunities beyond just software development alone. So a lot of people in the tech industry end up kind of like hopping around to different jobs until they find one they really like. And it's relatively easy to do that in the tech industry. So some of the cons here are there's going to be long hours where you're going to have to concentrate. There's a lot of debugging challenges, and you need to stay up to date on the latest evolving technologies and And unfortunately, frameworks and languages change like every 3 to 5 years. But overall, this one is fantastic if you can get into it. I'll give it an opportunity score of 10 out of 10. The next one on the list is one that's really hot now. It's almost like the new software development, and that's going to be data analyst, and especially data if you're working in the cloud. But basically, you're going to be collecting, analyzing, and interpreting complex data sets. And then you're going to be using that data to hopefully make informed business decisions. Now, in this role, you'd make about $70,000 a year, and it's definitely a bit easier to get into this than it is to get into something like software development. And there's a lot of much higher paying data jobs that you can move into down the line. Now, there's a bunch of different ways that people get into this, just like software development. Some people have degrees, some people don't. It literally ranges all the way from not even having a high school diploma to having a doctorate degree. So there's all kinds of different people that get into these positions. At the end of the day, when it comes to technology, all that really matters is your skill. So if you are able to self-teach yourself these skills and you're as good as the people who are graduating from college, then you can go that route. But for a lot of people, college is going to be the better option because it does make things easier. Now, some of the skills you're going to have in this role is a strong foundation in mathematics and statistics, a good understanding of programming languages such as Python or R, proficiency in data visualization tools, and experience in data analysis techniques. Some of the pros here are it's pretty exciting to work with data because it's kind of a new thing. There's also very high demand for data analysts in certain industries, and there's a lot of opportunities for remote work. Some of the cons here are you're going to be dealing with large and complex data sets. You're going to have to collaborate with people who may not be data literate, and so you'll have to explain things to them. And then much like software development, you have to stay up to date on the current technologies, and it kind of changes like every 3 to 5 years. So overall, I'll give this one an opportunity score of 9.5 out of 10 as well. Now, I actually made a video about 7 remote jobs that are almost always hiring, and you can check that out by clicking right here.